Are the New York Jets going to surprise everyone with a competitive football team this year?
Um, so they definitely have an interesting roster on paper. Getting back with Geno Smith is definitely an interesting move. Um, Geno really had some good years in West Virginia in college, and that's why he got picked so highly. And he went to the New York Jets, like for his first few years. And obviously, as we see watching the NFL, usually if you get drafted to the Jets, you're quickly labeled a bust in your first 3 seasons. But there are some other teams that have been getting these New York Jets quarterbacks and turning them into stars. And Geno Smith really looked like that when he went to Seattle and really had some good showings with the Seahawks. Never really got that break where he got them to a Super Bowl. I was doubtful that they would do anything last season with getting Darnold and getting rid of Smith, but it turned out to be the right move with Geno going down to Las Vegas. He was horrible. Like, it took a lot to be able to watch him play. He was throwing a lot of interceptions. He was extremely inaccurate, and I don't know how much that falls on his team around him.
Yeah, so that's quite a lot that you said there.
Yeah.
But as far as the question itself, what's your answer for the Jets? Yes or no?
So it's I don't know the answer to this question very much. I feel like I can't see an answer now. But when we get to that first game and we see how they play, then I think I'll be ready to get the answer because even with one game, you don't know what a team's going to be like. Like New England, they lost to Las Vegas week 1 and
Hmm.
then they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Um
So,
but
yes,
just you never really know. And depending on their showing week 1, I think that'll determine how we think of Geno and the rest of the squad.
it's a very neutral take to go into the season with for them. It's a safe take. Yeah, we're back. We're wrapping up our look at the teams in the
Yeah,
AFC East. So we're going to look at the Jets here, and then we'll move on to
to
the
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 NFC
NFC.
East.
Yeah, NFC East next time. But yeah, so the Jets, they're an interesting team. There's a lot of teams that you can tell clearly they're in a position to win now, that's their focus, or they're in a rebuild. And with the Jets, it's like, okay, they've started the rebuild, but they're also trying to win. Like they're not trying to tank the season, like they want to win. And so it is a little bit harder to tell how they're going to be this season. So I think you're right in that aspect.
It's very much an odd time to decide that you want to win with this coveted 2027 draft class that honestly, if they play as they were in college, the NFL could be entirely reshaped and some of these worst teams could be Super Bowl favorites in a few years, like maybe 5, 10 years. And that really shapes the league and obviously not all of them are going to play like college because that doesn't happen, but
I think that
there's a future.
I think the Jets have the luxury of trying to win this year and still knowing that they're gonna have options in the draft
Yeah.
because they have 3 draft picks in the first round. So they're even if they have a winning season,
With
which
that
would
Sauce
which
Gardner
would
trade, they
be
really shaped everything back up.
yeah, with the moves they made, they stockpiled their picks, and if they can hit on
Yeah.
them, then that can really turn the franchise around. But yeah,
Mhm.
so even if they surprise people with a winning season, they could still have a decent pick. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think that the other ones are going to be top 10 picks, but as many quarterbacks as there are, as many good players, like they could still get some quality in the draft because they have their pick,
Yeah.
they have the Colts, and then whichever
Uh,
is the better one between the Cowboys or the Packers.
Yeah. So just there's some talent on this roster. Like when we went into ranking those running backs, you didn't, but I had Brees Hall at number 10. And I feel like the Jets aren't necessarily under pressure to have a good season, but I feel like if they don't do at least good, like 5+ wins, that these guys, Garrett Wilson, Brees Hall, and some other guys that might show up, don't want to be on this team anymore if they don't want to be on there already. Because obviously you don't want to be on the Jets, which is something we see all the time. But there definitely is talent on this roster, and they could pull through with a surprising season. But I don't think we see them with like
Yeah,
eight plus wins.
let's look at like kind of like we did with the other teams. Like there's
Yeah.
coaching, there's offense, there's defense, and kind of see how that tracks for us. So uh, their head coach, I believe last year was his first year, and
Yes.
I think the biggest newsworthy headline for the Jets was just that the defense failed to get an interception, which is not a good look for a guy that was a cornerback himself. So I think they're going to be highly motivated to turn that around and get some more turnovers on
Yeah.
defense this year. Um, I think
Glenn
where
was good at getting picks.
and so I think that he's feeling more pressure to start producing now in year two.
I would say he is already on the hot seat. Usually, going into your second season, you are under basically zero stress because the team is getting used to you as a head coach. But, you know, going off of that season, 3 wins, zero interceptions. They it took them a while to even get like a takeaway.
Yeah, if you look at your career as a path,
Yeah.
and say he gets 3 years, this year too is a fork in the road. So even if it's not defined by how many wins they get, the course that he sets the team on will decide the future success that they have. So there is, I think, a lot of pressure, like you said, this year for them to get things on the right track. I think it's an interesting team if we shift to the offense that they've put together. Um, we saw some dynamic offensive pieces, with Brees Hall, with Garrett Wilson, and they doubled down. They drafted two more first round picks to add to the offense.
I think personally, I think that Kenyon Sadiq guy, that is I've watched videos about the draft and not many people talk about Kenyon Sadiq. Like people are really underestimating the Jets draft, and obviously they have been notorious with picking bad players, and whether that be an organization's fault or the players just not being good,
Hmm.
it really takes a while to figure that out. But I think the players they drafted could help this team, like especially Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah, yeah, I think you throw in Sadiq, you throw in Omar Cooper Jr. Those are two guys that can make plays for him. I think, not to forget about, Mason Taylor. He was the second round draft pick last year, that tight end. So now you've got a couple tight ends, you've got a couple wide receivers, and a good running back. And so Geno Smith is going to have weapons. He's had a very interesting career uh, that has been anything but predictable. So, you know, he was highly successful at West Virginia. Came in with high expectations, with potential. As we've seen with a lot of quarterbacks, the Jets and Smith, they didn't have success the first time. But instead of his career just flaming out, he resurrected it. He actually
Yeah,
found success, and I think that the credit is split. I think you have to give him credit for being resilient and continuing to work on his craft, and then also the position that the Seahawks put him in. I think, the way that they built the team, gave him a chance to win.
especially
Um,
having those playmakers like Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf.
yeah,
You
absolutely.
usually you put either everything on the QB shoulders that they were good and they led the team, or that they are not as good and they had a really good receiver or running back or something that led the team. But it's like there's a lot to wonder
Hmm.
with that Seattle team because they had such amazing receivers, but Geno Smith himself was playing decent.
He was, yeah, he played decent. And then it, so just when we thought that we knew what to expect from Geno, he goes to the Raiders and we think, okay, you know, Geno, Bowers, yeah, Genty, we're going to
Yeah,
see some interest with the Raiders. And it fell apart. Like it was just basically a pipe bomb,
yeah.
like it. Um, so he's been all over the place. So are we going to get the Geno that we originally saw with the Jets? Are we going to see the one that was with the Raiders? Or are we going to see one that's closer to what he was with the Seahawks?
I I'm optimistic to see what's gonna happen, genuinely, because I don't hate Geno Smith as a guy. He led West Virginia, and I respect him for that. He's one of the best West Virginia quarterbacks like ever, and he gets all those accolades for that. But the NFL is a different story than NCAA, and we could see him be amazing, but that is definitely not gonna happen from what right now. Maybe he's solid. Maybe he leads the Jets. Because honestly, I don't know who's in that quarterback room. Like, they don't have Zach Wilson. They don't have Justin Fields. They might not even have Tyrod Taylor. I don't know.
They have Cade Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik.
Yeah, they
I don't know how to
drafted
say
him
his
in the
name
fourth
either.
round.
Maybe him.
Definitely had some success in college, so some potential there, but not necessarily one you're going to put a lot of hope in. And
Yeah,
I
I
think that
could I could see Smith benched early.
I I don't. I don't think there's a lot of pressure for Cade to take over. But I think the answer and how Gino's going to do is going to be with the offensive line. So one of
I don't
the
know a single person on that line.
well, one of the biggest problems last year with the Raiders was just how bad it was.
Yeah.
And the Jets actually have a pretty solid O-line. They've got a few good pieces and a few up and coming pieces where they're going to give Gino more of a chance to succeed. And so I think that because of that, what we're going to see is closer to the level of play he had in Seattle. So that's what I anticipate. He could prove us wrong, but I think we're going to see one of the better versions of Gino. I think he's going to be motivated. Uh,
Yeah.
he's got a second chance with the Jets, and I think he wants to prove to them that he's better than what he showed the first time. So I think that's what we're going to see.
I think that no matter what happens, the fault lies on Glenn's shoulders. Glenn was pretty good in the NFL, but you know, there's these things that happen when you become a head coach. Like even in the NHL with Gretzky being the best hockey player, going to the Coyotes, he was a horrible head coach. And I feel like that could be what happens with Glenn. He's not to the same level as Gretzky in football, but like he was solid. And just I don't know what's going to happen. Smith could be amazing, Smith could be horrible, but no matter what happens with this Jets team, it's Glenn's fault.
Yeah, and I think that rising to the head coach position is such a leap in difficulty.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be a coach focused on offense or defense or focused on a certain position. There's so much more that comes with being the head coach. And a lot of times, great coaches, it takes them two or three tries before they start learning from their mistakes and learn what is successful and how to approach it. And so, even if he does turn out to be a good head coach, I think he's still in that spot right now where he's going to make mistakes. And the question is just whether he learns from them or not. Um, but,
hmm
but yeah, so Glenn, he's, it's to be determined what we'll see from him. Uh,
And I'll say, with I'm pretty sure this was at the combine, maybe it was at the draft, but him sleeping on the job is not a good look. And there's no angle that you can put that as. That is your head coach. That is the head coach of the National Football League, and he is sleeping during one of the most important times of the season. Like it has nothing to do like just it is entirely his fault, and I don't know what happened there, but sleeping during the combine, that is like your future. Some of those guys are going to be on your team, and he is sleeping during that, and I, that is disrespecting the NFL, in my opinion, and just, it's not a good look. I mean, the Jets are used to bad looks, but that is just horrendous to happen.
I think part of that is optics. I mean, I don't know the full situation there, but you're at a combine, like how many hours are you there that day? Are you there that week?
I mean,
There
he's
how
a head coach.
yeah, but how much downtime is there between different things that are going on, different drills, different positions?
He signed up for this.
Like, I think that there's an opportunity to spin that and it does look bad, but I think that's what a lot of times the media does for headlines and stuff is for attention and views and all that. They spin it to make it look the worst that it can. So, I mean, it's definitely something you want to avoid doing, but is it as bad as it looked? Maybe not. But yeah, we need to wrap it up here. We were getting a little long-winded, but with our defense, I think we can take a look at that, and then we
It would
can,
be like, it is so difficult to not get an interception, and it is even more difficult to have 2 seasons with 0 interceptions. So it's gonna happen this
yeah,
season. It's gonna happen no matter what.
yeah, it's going to happen. And so when we look at their defense, I think we've got some solid players. Even though they traded some great players,
Like Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams.
yeah, there's still some good ones, like Minka Fitzpatrick. He's
Yeah,
there.
signed there.
Um, David Bailey,
Yeah,
just
he was
drafted.
just drafted. Yeah,
Like he could be a huge player for the defense.
yeah.
And then in the second round, D'Angelo Pons, one of their cornerbacks, I believe. So also add to the secondary there.
So yeah, that's gonna do it for our kind of Jets preview. We went a little longer than we wanted to, but I feel like it was a little necessary. I mean,
But yeah, so I mean, and we do want to wrap it up, but I think we need to be a little more definitive about what we're predicting for the team.
all right. I would say somewhere between 4 and 8 wins. I'd say highest is 8, lowest is like 2.
Okay, well, what do you lean towards between 4 or 8?
I'd say closer to the 8.
Yeah, for me, I would think that it's a 7-10 team that's competitive. So 7 wins, 10 losses,
Yeah.
and is in a lot more games. I think they're a well-rounded team, still a young team. So I think there's still some things they'll need to put together. But I think we're going to see this Jets team surprise some people this year.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll just do it. Just remember to like and subscribe, and we're gonna go to the NFC next, or yeah, the NFC East,
Yep.
and we're probably gonna do the Eagles first. But yeah, that'll do it. Bye.